Namaste everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about the rebirth. The rebirth signifies our transformation, our evolution, and it's obvious that when we are talking about the rebirth, it is directly connected to the death of something, and that death is of the identity of the ego. You can also call that the ego death, because here the identity who you used to be, who you think you are, is being questioned. That's why when you go through an identity crisis, you feel lost. You feel, what's the point of anything? What am I even doing? And because this universe is a mirror, our perception creates reality. We start seeing that on the outside too. When we go through our own identity crisis, that gets mirrored in the entire world. We start questioning, what's the point of this world? What's even the point of doing anything externally? So this phase is very fragile, because here you are not completely something new. You have not evolved yet. You are still in the phase of that death of the old identity. This may feel really unmotivating, uninspiring. That's why you feel lost. You don't know what to do anymore. You don't know where are you going. What's the point? Even though there is a lot of suffering involved, when you go through this process, it plays a very significant role. I feel only those go through this process of identity crisis who are really evolving, who are working on themselves, who are questioning their programs, their beliefs, who are constantly taking their power back from the matrix, from the system. And because you are outgrowing all the outdated programs, low vibrational energies, you are becoming a match to a higher reality. And that's why you have to let go of a lot of baggage from the past. You have to literally shed the old identity. And that's what this process is all about. So no matter how crazy it gets, no matter how unmotivated you feel, always remember that it is happening for something higher. For the ego, it won't make sense right away. It will not like it that all of the old reality is being taken away from it. It doesn't make sense why it has to be this way. It wants the easy way out because it wants to grab the past. So process the sadness, but at the same time, remember to discover yourself. Maybe you always wanted to live a life of purpose, but you were stuck in the matrix. Now the universe, your higher self, is giving you the chance to align your life in such a way where you live in alignment with your purpose, with your calling. So go after that, follow your heart. Finally, you have the chance to do that. That's the beauty of the identity crisis, because it is giving you an opportunity to be something that you were not earlier. You have nothing to lose now, because you don't know who you are. You can be anything. And there is a great saying, when nothing is certain, everything is a possibility. This one saying explains everything about the quantum field that we live in. When we don't know who we are, everything is a possibility. Everything opens up. Now it's up to you how you want to discover yourself, how you want to live now, how do you want to be reborn. So this is the time to discover yourself, to search within. Don't go without for answers. Don't look for answers outside of yourselves in a new place with the same energy, new people with the same energy. Something has to change within yourself. You have to let go of the old. And the one thing that will come in between is your fear. The greatest fear of any identity is to lose its identity. That's why the greatest fear of a human is death, because death means you will not exist anymore. The identity that you call yourself, the name, everything that is attached to the name, it will not exist anymore. That's why it's the ego's greatest fear. So this fear will come in between, and you have to be courageous enough to see beyond that fear. And that will happen when you're guided by your heart, when you're guided by your higher self. It can't happen when you're just in the ego. So take this time to reconnect with yourself, rediscover yourself, meditate more, spend more time with yourself, take the journey within and ask yourself, who am I? It's a really great time to invest in yourself. And with that, you will get a vision. You will have a knowing that this is who I am. And through that knowing, you will create a vision of your future self. And this brings me to the next point, that our future self should always be defined by what we will be doing in the future. And it's not just about our future self, it's about how we see ourselves in the present. What are our motivations? What is our inspiration? What is driving us? The idea is that your entire identity should not be driven by your past, by who you used to be. It should be driven by who you aspire to be. So, whenever you see yourself in your own eyes, you should not derive yourself from your past. So, always see yourself as a person who is gonna do great things in the future. And those great things should be in alignment with who you really are. And if those two things align, then you allow yourself to go through this rebirth process in alignment with your highest version. It's so important to be inspired by the future, by your future self, because otherwise the ego will always define you by your past. And your past is something that does not exist anymore. It's just in your mind that I used to be that, I used to work at that place, I used to be in that relationship. It's all memory, it's not real. And when you think of yourself like that, you are not expanding your consciousness. You are not thinking of the things that you will be in the future. You are not thinking of the things that you can do in the future. And like I said earlier, this universe, it just mirrors back everything to you. So if you define yourself by your past, that's what you will see in the world. The people, the places, the energies, it will all reflect the past within you. But if you let go of the old identity and you create a new vision for the future, and you start identifying yourself with that vision, then the universe will mirror something different to you. Now you are not driven by the fear, but you are guided by a higher self. You believe in yourself. You feel that you are here to do something bigger than yourself. And that's why if you combine a purpose, a mission, a calling with your future self, you completely transform how you see yourself. Now your identity is not about the things that the ego wants. Now you have added something bigger than yourself. And until we have a sense of higher purpose, the ego will easily get bored. You have to understand that the ego is always in the doing mode. It's always super active. And that's why people are in this rat race, because then you will not have to sit with your feelings, with your emotions, and face the emptiness that is within you. You can always be busy working for someone else, doing something for someone else, and you are comfortably doing that because you know if you don't do that, you will have to face yourself. That's just the bitter truth, that we don't know how to be. And with this process of rebirth, you have to face your emotions. You have to accept what you are. You are not the ego who is always super active, who is always doing a million things at a time. And you realize a really deeper truth, that no matter how much you do in life, there will always come a point where you will not be doing anything. At that moment, can you sit with yourself, or you want to do something else? If you are the person who want to do something else constantly, you are completely disconnected from your higher self. And this process will be hard for you, because this process requires you to just be. Only from that being, you discover your purpose, yourself, because you are a human being. Being means a state of consciousness, just being, existing. Can you just exist? Or the world, the matrix, has convinced you that you need to keep doing something, one thing after another, so that you feel you are doing something. This is not the middle path. This is the extreme. That's why being a workaholic is seen as something normal, but it is actually toxic. it is not healthy for you. So you have to understand that being comfortable with just being is very important. And that will happen when you allow yourself to pause, to reflect, to relax, to not be in the doing mode. And when you do that, your higher self starts communicating with you. Because it is not something which is far away, it is within you. It is you, the higher you, but you are never saying yes to it. You're always saying yes to the ego, yes to the system, and it's draining you. And when you finally say, I choose myself, I deserve peace, I deserve purpose, I deserve meaning in my life, I don't want to be living a life that is hollow from within, then the real answers come to you. And then you will realize that you are here for something bigger. You will have a meaning in your life, and still you will have some bad days. You will feel bad sometimes, but you will know deep in your heart that these moods, all these things, they will come and go. There's a great saying, this too shall pass, that everything is temporary. But your calling, your mission, it remains the same. And that guides you. That gives you fuel. That gives you energy. Because you have a vision of future in your mind, in your heart, and it is not driven by fear and ego. It is coming from a pure place. It is coming from your higher self. And now the final point that I want to share, which is the most important one I feel, is to be present. Sounds very simple, but it is one of the greatest challenge for the ego, to just live life for the here and now. Don't go into the past thinking that I wish I could be the same person. You can't be that person. Don't go into the future that I wish I can be my highest version already. It's a process. You are right now in the middle. You are going through that process, and that process is taking place in the present. That's why it's very important to always be anchored in the present moment. It can be your any spiritual practice, meditation. It can be any physical activity that helps you in doing that. Whatever works for you. Always make it a priority. The things that help you to be present. Being present doesn't hold value for the ego because ego always runs for the future. And while running, it completely forgets that life is happening in the present. And the more you are anchored in the present, you can use the present wisely, in alignment with your higher self. You can do the things that actually matter. You will not run always when you are present. You can slow down. You can live in alignment. You will have clarity. You will have direction that is yours. That is a true direction. And when you become present, you will realize that even though after doing a lot of things, maybe even doing the things that are in alignment with your purpose, there is a lot of time. There is a lot of time to just be. Earlier, it was just taken up by all the programs, by all the energies of the past. Now you can use that time for something that will help you evolve. It can be your hobbies, it can be your passion, it can be just sitting by yourself and just feeling your energy existing. When you just exist, you are truly being a human being. And when you are doing, constantly doing, you are a machine hired by someone else, constantly doing something. And unfortunately, that is the world that we live in. And it is normal to be a machine. And it is crazy to be a human, to be a being. And then you will realize you have all the time in the world to do actual things that matter. Connection, which is one of the most basic human needs. You will finally realize the value of that. At the end of the day, everyone wants connection, to feel connected with other humans. If you are not even connected to yourself, how can you connect to others? How can you realize the value of connection? Then your priorities change. Everything changes. Your vision changes. And you are reborn, a new person. That's what the rebirth is all about. So don't be afraid when you feel lost, when you feel unmotivated, when you feel what's the point of anything. Know that there is a higher purpose for what's happening. A new you is about to reborn. A new you that's gonna completely transform your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can like, comment and share. You can also support me by hitting the thanks button. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe. Much love to you all.